Tony Hawkins has got a podcast. I hope he's better at this than he is washing the kit, because he was fucking useless.
So you can start by telling everyone why we're a day late and a dollar short, Tony Hawkins.
We're a day late because I have had a debilitating disease.
Been at death's door
For the last
since
Monday, and I'm blaming one of our guests who was supposed to be on tonight, but
he's ill.
He's ill, and I'm pretty sure he gave it to me. Oh, my mum did, because I went round for Sunday roast, and so we had to postpone until tonight. So it's Thursday for anybody who's listening. It's not the day that you're listening to this, but today is Thursday.
Yeah, you won't be listening to tomorrow, you'll be listening to the day after tomorrow.
Yeah, so
that was a film, remember that? Day after tomorrow, snow and everything.
Was that the one with the dog and
I don't know
Will Smith? I can't remember.
No, that was the I Am Legend.
Oh, that's it. I get those two confused.
No,
28 days later.
Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah. See, all these
It's exactly a year ago
things.
today since that old Beast from the East snow.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
That's good enough.
Anyway, welcome to episode...
There you go, that's a weather report done.
Episode 16. We're going to call this one the 16th.
The 16th.
We could call it Louis again.
Well, Louis, there was a lot of Louis on it.
Yeah, well, yeah. Can't think of any other 16ths, to be fair.
I can't.
What we got to talk about, we've got the Newport game
Newport,
last Saturday. Should we start with that?
Yeah, go on.
Right, yeah. We won 2-0.
Kick us off. We did. Right, and next.
Quite eventful without being eventful. Mainly because... First question.
One.
After the first few minutes, it was clear that the referee was going to give everything to both sides.
I can't remember that ref. Was he very small?
I can't remember, but I just thought he's giving everything here, this bloke, and he's going to ruin this game. Which went in our favour with the penalty. Have you watched it back? What was your view like from the coup shed?
I can't remember why we got a penalty, if I'm being honest.
Well, Conor McGrandles...
Was it Crandall's? Yeah, I remember.
Conor McGrandles coming in from the left, running with the ball, and it basically just threw himself in front of the defender.
He did.
Like one of those Russian videos you see on YouTube where people try and, where there's blame, there's a claim. They throw themselves in front of cars. It was very similar to that. He threw himself in front, and I just laughed in the split second before the referee blew his whistle and pointed to the spot. I thought, no way is he giving that. He's going to book him for diving. And he gave it. Unbelievable. Now, the penalty was well struck. It was quite wide, but we could all see where it was going, as could the keeper.
Yeah.
And Kieran won't be happy with that one. Usually he is one of those that lets the keeper go. And then we'll put it wherever it needs to go. I thought the keeper was
pretty decent, if I'm being
honest.
He
was, actually. He kept him in, he kept him in the game for long periods. So, after that, you said to me earlier that you still didn't think we weren't going to...
Nope.
You still thought we were going to win.
Normally, if that had been 2 or 3 weeks ago and they'd have saved that, I would have just thought that would have knocked the stuffing at us. But I'm genuinely not just saying this, but when that was saved, I was still convinced we were going to go on and win that game.
Which we did.
That we were better than them.
Yeah, so I don't think it was wasn't a fantastic game of football, but it was a little bit like getting back to earlier in the season where the level of excitement may have gone down slightly, but the level of safety has gone up.
Yeah.
And
that was enjoyable enough. I thought it was all right.
Yeah, I mean,
what else can you expect?
I said earlier, I thought if that had ended 0-0, no one would have been surprised.
No, not really. You'd have been disappointed because you're obviously, we're getting to the football cliche alert, business end of the season, so you don't want to be. You want to be winning games at this time of year. Well, you want to be winning them at any time, but more so now with the run-ins beginning to kick in.
Yeah, and
a couple of months to go will be done.
The King scored his header.
Yeah.
Rebranded himself and started scoring goals.
It was great, wasn't he?
Yes,
he was funny.
There was some
He was ecstatic. I was quite pleased for him myself.
Yeah, I was walking behind him as he was going up to do the man of the match after the game, and he was buzzing. I think the lads were, in general, quite actually really. I
read somewhere that his mum's ill and he got straight on a plane straight after
to Paris.
Yeah, good luck to him.
Yeah, nice. That's very nice of him. Of
And
course,
then
you should
Chuck
go see
scored.
your mum, shouldn't you?
He should.
Yeah, and Chuck scored again. Again, one
And
of those
smiled,
goals.
which was
Yeah,
intriguing.
one of those goals where he should never ever have been allowed to get anywhere near the goal. Let
That
alone
was a good
score.
goal. That.
Yeah, but
That
again,
shows the
it's
difference
just
in
him.
class between him and them.
Everybody else
Yeah.
on the pitch. in
It
fact.
was little flashes like that.
That's what.
Yeah.
That's what. Those are the sort of goals that come into games and win games and get you promotion.
Yeah, that is.
Without him and those goals,
That's a good thing you've just said, because that is the kind of game that if we do go up, it'll be games like that game right there. You'll be thinking that you look back and you think, yeah, I don't really remember that game. I remember us scoring, but you'll think it was games like that that is, that's what's got us up.
yeah, where you need to, you really need to go. Although you're looking relatively comfortable and in control of the game, you have to score the goals
score
that
the
win
goals.
the games. As good as the first goal was, we did need that second goal.
Came
at a good time as well.
Having said that, I was
There's never a bad time to score.
Like
as
when
we all
that
know,
second one went, and I just thought, right, you blokes are done now. Just that's it.
that was it. And then that after that, the game seemed to just drop.
It did.
And Newport had accepted their fate, I think, and the lads just, we didn't then, as we have done recently, kick off. They go down straight down the other end and score, or get a corner, or get a penalty.
I didn't feel that on Saturday. I just didn't think that they were, like I said last week on this, I thought they're bound to be a bit emotionally and physically exhausted with the last couple of weeks.
Well, yeah, I mean that massive come down after that game against Man City,
and then coming to play Milton Keynes Dons. Still,
but we'll take it if that goes for us, because often it's not about fitness; it's about.
Who was man of the match?
Adrenaline.
Was it Cisse?
It was.
I think I gave it to McCrandles on that concrete roundabout. I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think.
Maybe
who
not.
else,
Maybe McCrandles
would
the
have
week
been
before.
Who else would have been worthy of it? Yeah, Oos did have a very good game.
He did have a really good game.
I don't generally criticise Oos, but you'll notice that I don't really say a lot about
Nope.
it either.
That
so
speaks volumes in itself.
I still think he's got a lot to prove. If he can stay in the team, if we can stay in the squad, match day squads, keep away from being injured, maybe we'll get to see a bit more of what all those videos that were thrown about on YouTube. But no, a good win, 3 in a row.
That is 3
in a row.
This week.
We're still fourth because everybody else above us did well as well. But we can only keep doing what we're doing. We haven't got the points on the board now to do what they're doing, so we're going to have to keep at it. And hopefully, one of them will slip up. Who do you think it will be? If any of them's going to do it, I don't think it'll be Lincoln.
That will be Berry.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Not Mansfield.
No, Berry. I think.
Because we're 2 points. We're 2 points behind Mansfield now. Berry won, didn't they? Yes, Berry beat Oldham, wasn't it? Was it an early game, I think? So we're on 59. We're 4 points ahead of Exeter, by the way, who've played the same amount of games as us. Do you know what's killing us? And this sounds really silly, I know, but the amount of games we've lost.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Games you should have won, like Northampton, for example, away.
Yeah. Whereas Lincoln have only lost 4. Berry have lost 7. Mansfield 5.
Or the game against Berry, was that the one we were 3-1 up or something?
3-1 up, yeah.
That was a disaster, that.
Yeah, 3-1 up and lost 4-3, is that one?
Equally as much, just as, to go back to what I was saying a couple of minutes ago, if we don't go up, it'll be games like that where you turn around and think,
it will be. It will be.
If only we'd learned to shut that out.
That's how people look at football.
Yeah.
They never look at. It's like the
overall,
goalkeepers.
Yeah.
Everybody remembers the goalkeepers' mistakes. They never
Yeah.
remember the good ones. And when you get relegated, you look back and you think, if we'd have done. I mean, I remember the season before we got promoted.
Yeah.
At the very end of the season, I was sitting down with Richie, and we went through the whole season. And what's always absolutely baffled me, but is also most impressive, is how much managers and assistant managers remember. You can pick a game and they'll go like that. They'll say, this happened, that happened, this player scored, we did through that. And they remember everything. We went through all those games. And I said, well, there's one there. There's a game there. I don't know who it was, can't remember. We'd lost 2-1 or 1-0 or something. And Richie would say, well, we didn't win that because we didn't do this, we didn't do that. He was looking at it from a tactical point of view, as I'm thinking of separate incidents. It might be a missed penalty, it might be a sending off, it might be something like that, but the knowledge that they carry with them across the seasons is staggering. It really is. Carl will tell you name a game and he'll tell you who scored, when it was scored, how it was scored. It's
I remember watching that video that they put out after we got promoted, and they were going through the game by game, weren't they?
Oh, and they did the interview with Delhi and Potts.
Yeah, and Delhi turned up, didn't they?
Yeah, Delhi, Potts, Was there someone else there?
Someone
Daly and
else
Potts
there.
were definitely
I
there.
can't remember who else it was. It was Bowditch.
That's it, yeah. And they went for every single
and they
game,
were
and
talking
again,
about
the
every
players
game.
will remember every little detail about every little
I don't know
game.
where that video is. I'd like to watch that. I'll tell you what I watched the other night when I was a bit pissed off. I thought I'd cheer myself up by watching. Remember that thing that used to be on BBC One after Match of the Day, the lower league thing,
Yeah.
whatever it was, and that one where we get promoted
Yeah.
against, what's the name?
Yeovil.
It was the split thing, wasn't it, with Preston? And
Yeah.
I've watched that loads of times. It always cheers me up, no matter how pissed off I am. I
know-
can always
do you know,
be cheered up by watching
The only thing I remember about that is
You were on it as well, jumping about like
I
a
was on
headless
it, yeah.
chicken.
But what I do remember is the very last second of that show at the end, where they were cutting all the little bits in about the teams that got promoted, the teams that got relegated. The very last seconds of that show were the kit man Ada at Leyton Orient walking around. All his players are on the floor, head in hands.
That was the year they get relegated.
Yeah, back down into non-league.
Yeah.
And he was going around and he was patting all his players on the head and consoling them. Whatever. The first text I got after our final whistle was from him to say congratulations.
Blimey.
And his team had just been relegated.
I'll be honest, I've never watched it beyond the bit we were.
Oh, that was fantastic.
I will watch it to the end though.
I've watched the DVD of the promotion day, which was sort of hastily pasted together from various phones and cameras and that sort of thing. And
That's
I've
cracking.
got some personal videos of my own in the changing room.
It's a cracking thing that,
afterwards.
because I love the way it keeps cutting between us and Preston and then back to us. And think, even though I've watched that, I don't know, 20 odd times, you still think, it goes in. You think, I know what the end of the story is. I was there. But it's fantastic.
That whole season was just the perfect storm. I hate that phrase.
Yeah.
It was though. It was just everything
Everything
came
just went
together
exactly
right at the
time,
end as we accelerated.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic. I mean, we say you can never recreate days like that. You can't recreate that specific day, obviously, but there will be times. There will be days like that again in the future.
Days,
and there'll be some terrible ones like Northampton away and realising, the realisation that you're getting relegated. So should we talk about the singers?
The singers,
I've got the numbers.
God, Aha!
I've got the numbers and I've got the analysis.
I have been interacting with one of them on Twitter, and I'll say one thing. I did say to him, credit where it's due, mate, because I thought on Saturday you were all right. Quite honest with you. Right, go on, give us a first half analysis.
All right, so first half analysis.
First half analysis. Singing in the first half went thus.
7 minutes and 26 seconds.
Which is 2 seconds less than the whole of the
previous
before.
game.
Okay,
so a reasonable start. What I also liked, and this is my favourite bit about that, was, and I don't know if this was a knee-jerk reaction to the missed penalty, or because I did mention that our fans always used to sing after we'd let a goal in.
And they did.
They started singing immediately after the missed penalty, which I love.
The atmosphere was good.
I love
must
that.
admit, it was good.
There were still very long
pockets.
periods of silence.
There was.
At 78 minutes, MK Army went round the entire stadium. It almost got round twice before that, but on 78 minutes it did actually get round.
Like a Mexican wave.
Yeah, as it spreads round and you can hear it. You can hear it coming. You can hear it coming. So the overall,
right?
The overall, 23 minutes and 10 seconds.
That's good.
That's not too bad at all. That is a vast improvement. 3 times more.
I said 11 minutes was going to be what it was.
Exactly. 3 times more than the previous home game. So keep it up, boys and girls.
He's been on.
I believe there was a meeting this week as well.
Tony Hawkins, you've taken the words right out of my mouth.
What do you know?
What I know is one of them was on Twitter last night saying that the meeting had been postponed again.
Oh, right, okay.
He said apparently some people couldn't make it.
Yeah.
To which someone of our acquaintance chipped in with, "You're being proper mugged off, mate," or something like that. So.
What people have to realise, it's not just about the club. I can pretty much guarantee the club would be more than happy to do it, but the logistics, the safety side of it, the extra stewarding, all that sort of stuff has to be taken into consideration.
When we did the fanzine, like Mick and someone else, I think it might have been Ed, they had a meeting. Well, like Andy Cullen, and I'm thinking to myself, there's no way Andy Cullen's going to agree to us selling that thing in the ground. But he did. I was quite astonished. I thought, Jesus, their only caveat was that we kept away from what do you call them, the programme sellers, because they were on commission or something.
They are, yeah.
We just had to keep away from it, but
I tell you what, there's another.
So
There's
I'm all
another.
for Andy Cullen. I think he's all right.
He's done
He
a.
proper mugged me off once.
Well, he's done me a favour recently.
He's doing
a
it now,
personal
that
favour, which
fucking
was
noise,
nice.
listen.
But it was, he's done a lot for the club over the years. He's introduced a lot of things that people don't really notice that much. Fans meetings that have now sadly pretty much fallen by the
one of them
wayside.
for ages, have we?
Yeah, so
I stopped going to them, to be quite
he's done
honest.
an awful lot of work behind the scenes.
When I was on
to
the
get
committee
people
of the Bloody Supporters Association, he was at near enough every meeting we had.
Yeah, he would be,
And he would think yourself, you've had to stay late because those meetings. Well, I ain't going to go into that nonsense about why they had to start so early, but they started really early. But I say really early, you're talking 6:30.
It's usually 6 or half.
And
6,
you think to yourself, yeah, you could have been on your way home, mate, but you stayed.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it wasn't just that. It was the
good for him.
DSA. It was
All of that, yeah.
the fan experience, the match day experience, the away days, the club red club. They all had their own. They had all their meetings, all their own types of meetings, and a lot of the ideas about season ticket offers and that sort of thing came from.
That come
those
from
meetings
AC.
as well.
I'm calling him AC.
Yeah. Oh yeah, obviously it was because he was in charge of that sort of thing. Anyway, we digress. So I want to give 2 mentions.
Go on.
By the way. One to young Alex, who works in the shop at the stadium.
Oh, right. Is he a
He
listener?
wanted a mention, and I said, I can only give you a mention if I
Alex?
can abuse you, because you're a little shithead.
Oh, that's
And he said, no, that's fine. So, Alex, the ginger shithead,
Ginger shithead?
far too much confidence for a ginger,
Wow.
if I'm honest. Lovely hair, but it's still
Ginger, no?
Still ginger.
Strawberry
yeah,
blonde.
So, yeah, he's a horrible little shitbag. So, there you go. Alex
you
gave
go,
you a
Alex.
mention.
Cheers,
And
mate.
one to Jordan Noon, who most of you won't know, but
I don't
Jordan
know
works
him.
for the set. Has been at the club for
6 months.
long time now. He's been there for maybe 8 years. I don't know, 7, 8 years. He took the disability team out to Reading last weekend on his own,
Yeah.
and I saw him after the game as they all came off the coach. And
But for a game.
yeah,
Not
well,
just
it's
for
like
a night out.
it's one of these tournament type things.
Let's go to Reading for a night out. Did he say
Yeah.
that?
But no, there's a lot of work gets done by people like Jordan that doesn't get recognised at all ever. And similarly with the ladies, the work that goes into the
We're
ladies
talking about ladies
and the
football
academy
this morning.
teams.
Me and the good Mrs. Mrs.
We
Taylor.
see England beat Brazil last night.
That's what we were watching.
Absolutely
To
battered
watch
them
both
second half.
me and my wife said, and I quote, and I make no apologies for this, we both said women shouldn't be allowed to play football. So there you go. Non-controversial statement right there.
Yeah, so I wanted to acknowledge the stuff that Jordan and the likes of Jordan do, but Jordan in particular because he does a lot of this stuff on
What
his
about
own
that
now.
ginger-headed fella on the box office?
Oh, he does fuck all.
Nah,
He
nothing
does
on-
fuck all. He's useless.
Quite a lot of them do nothing in that box.
I don't actually know why he's there. Well, he does make a nice cup of coffee.
Oh, there you go.
I'll give him that. So,
Next time I'm
moving on. So we got some questions. Do you
Okay,
wanna-
just
do you
before
wanna
we
do-
go, what I'd like to
Yep.
talk about the goalkeeper situation.
Oh yes. All right. So how do you think Stewart played? Could I have a mouthful of that? I don't know.
It's whiskey, Tony.
Oh, I don't care.
It's straight whiskey.
I just need something.
I can ask you if you wanted a beer or a can of Coke or anything.
Just something to.
Is that better?
Actually, that's decent. That
It's
is.
nice.
That's very smooth for a
Very
whiskey.
good. I love it. I have to drink out the other side of the glass now.
Oh yeah.
can have
Well,
another
actually,
bit
that's a
if
very
you
good point. Sorry about that.
No,
yeah.
you're all right.
You might want
It's
to get
whiskey.
the
It'll
old
kill all the
anti-back.
germs. No, it'll kill the germs.
It'll
don't
kill
worry.
the germs. All right, fair enough. Yeah, goalkeeper. So Stewart hasn't really done anything wrong since he came
Not
in.
really.
His
I
name
don't
is
think
Stewart, isn't it? Stewart
That's
Moore?
Stewart Moore,
Yeah.
yeah. He made one half decent save, didn't he, on Saturday, for what
Yeah.
I can remember, up the other end, the away end. That was it. He's not quite, I mean, what's his name? Ian McLoughlin, when he stood in, he was just appalling, that guy.
Yeah.
He's probably a really nice bloke, and he's a bit of a nuisance on Twitter.
Well, he's a bit of a twat.
Yeah, he's a bit of a nuisance on Twitter, because all he talks
Billy
about...
Big Bollocks, I call him.
All he talks about is Man United, and does stupid jokes, and he uses the wrong homophone.
He was once
He spells there and there, he gets all his there's wrong. But
he
anyway,
was
apart from that-
described as the busiest C word in football by that stupid curly-haired bloke was on Soccer AM. Played for us. Well, I say played for us.
Oh, bloody Jimmy Bullard.
Yeah.
Did he really?
The busiest cunt in football, he called him.
No, but you could see
Yeah,
when he
second string
played.
goalkeepers at this
Yeah,
level,
at this level,
you don't always...
you don't get ones like him. I know he's only stood in for a couple of games, but
Yeah.
he's not looked out of his depth. Because going back to that twat that's now the goalkeeper coach at Colchester,
Yeah.
Big Fat George, he just,
Big George.
when he stood in, you just think, you're just not very good, mate, to be quite
Well, it does
honest.
seem to be. I mean, there's there are savings to be made, and
Yeah.
you're hedging your bets by hoping that your first choice keeper
Just
doesn't get
goalkeeper.
injured very often.
If he does get injured, he could just say, "I'm not coming off."
Yeah, but that's true.
It's not been the first
That's
time
it.
that
No,
happened.
I'm not gonna.
All right.
Oh, that's a conversation.
That was
for,
funny, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, does that speak volumes about what's going on at Chelsea? Or
He's 24, that guy. That done me. I just thought he's 2 years younger than my son, that bloke. 71 million quid. Nah, fuck you. I'm staying on. It was funny, though.
He might have redeemed himself had they won and he'd saved a couple of
He was
penalties. But
so angry, that
dived
Sarri,
over.
wasn't he? I've never
Well, he
seen
should
him.
be. He should be.
It's very-
That's the
I
manager's.
thought to myself, he's storming off. Look, he's walking
The
down
manager's
the tunnel.
taking him off. It's well. I mean, we don't want to talk about Chelsea.
No, but
That was a terrible game.
no,
by
I
the
thought
way.
he's done really well. I'd like to praise the lad because
Yeah.
it can't be a lot of fun being a second string goalkeeper at this level of football, because you must think to yourself, I'm never going to get a game unless it's a bloody league trophy or FA Cup.
Also, you're not going to get noticed.
No, you're not,
either.
nah. And no one's going to. I mean, I couldn't have told you what his name was before 2 weeks ago. I had no idea who the second string keeper was. So I'd just like to say well done to him, and I wouldn't be adverse to him staying in between the sticks, as I say.
As long as he's doing a job and we're winning, there's absolutely no reason unless he has an absolute nightmare, win, lose or draw. But that's where the managers make their money. That's where they make those decisions. I mean, dropping Lee was, even though
that's a bold decision.
He'd made a couple of mistakes, admittedly, but we know how good Lee is.
Yeah.
No issue with his talent overall, of course, but. The manager's decided that maybe it's time for him to stand aside, give the other lad a go, see what happens.
See what happens, and he's done all right. So well done to you, mate. Yeah. Right, that's us. Done about that.
Yes, so that's the one. So we got these
questions. I'm going into these blind, Tony Hawkins.
All right, so this is from, as you may have noticed, by the way, there's no Sam. He's
Housewives Favourite Sam.
He's gone off to that London. He said he was going to do the quiz over the phone, but then he said he can't.
Oh, and they called you a twat on Instagram, not Instagram.
I said, all right, I'll ring you later. I didn't mean that.
Yeah, I'll ring you for the quiz. Anyway, fuck you.
You have to be there to understand the joke. So this is from Owen. Owen's sent us questions periodically.
I like these questions.
He's done. Been a few weeks since I did one of these. I thought you might like some more questions. Thanks for the podcast as always. I'm still loving them.
Thank you very much.
First question the first.
Go on.
Who is the one player that Tiz has sold who you would like to back? Now we discussed this in the kitchen, didn't we?
Yeah, I'm thinking. I would say Eden Nisbet, because I thought there was potential there for him. I just don't think he fitted into the system we were playing, really. He's a bit lightweight, but he's the only one I would really...
Yeah, lightweight is the word I'd use, and I have said that about Conor McGrandles, and I've been proven wrong, which is
considering my footballing history and his footballing history, you'd think he'd be the last player I'd be interested in being interested in, but I thought he was alright. I thought Peter Pollitt was decent, but he's just... ones that were injury prone,
I'd have a fit Peter Pollitt back if I had to take one back.
We can't have passengers in this club at the minute, and unfortunately, players made out of glass can't have you, mate.
No. Question 2.
Go on.
Worst away day, brackets, in terms of the game, not just the ground, you've ever been to. Worst away day.
We went to Peterborough away once. I can't remember who was manager. It was fairly early. It might well have been Martin Allen. And we went there and we just got battered that day. I think the score was 4-0, to be quite honest. Yeah. And I can remember, where they had that old stand, didn't they, where it was like terracing, and you were pretty near their big posh stand, pun intended, and one guy's giving it death, and I'm not normally a bloke that rises to this, but he just pissed me off, that bloke, and I'm pointing at the old outside, you bastard, to him. So that was an appalling day. That I'd say, just off the top of my head, I'd say it was that day.
Well, I generally enjoy away days because it's a day out. But probably the one that sticks out. This is in general for Sheffield, so United and Wednesday, but this one in particular. I think it was the day we played them in the FA Cup, and we took 9 coaches and.
What Sheffield are we on about?
Sheffield Wednesday FA Cup. I think it was 0-0. It was a shit game as well, but I just. Have you been on the coach to any of the Sheffield games before? Yeah, I went sports coach. So you know how heavy-handed...
I've never been to United. I've only ever been to Wednesday.
Yeah, and this isn't in reference into any particular incident to do with South Yorkshire Police, but they are very heavy-handed with football fans. So now I've got my instructions. I've got my 9 coaches. I'm on the front coach.
Oh, you're the leader of the gang.
I'm looking after the coaches. So I've got my instructions. Yeah, and it says... it's giving me the instructions. It said, go down here, come there, stop here, and then the police will escort you in.
I'll have another drink of this.
I will, I better add.
It's very nice, isn't it?
It is, it's very good.
That's it, I've drunk it now, it's done. Finish it. Well, you can't finish that, you've
Oh,
got to drive
God,
it.
God, no chance. So, I pulled the coaches over, and I've sat there for 20 minutes, nothing at all. So, pulled the coaches off again, and as we're coming off the motorway, I can see a load of police bikes going the other way down the motorway.
Yeah.
Obviously gone down to turn around and come back to meet us. So I've told the coach driver, just take it easy. Copper's got off his bike, stopped us, got these 9 coaches along the road, got on the coach. He said, where are you going? I said, well, we've been waiting for you. He said, you're supposed to be here at this time and we're supposed to give you an escort. And I said, well, that's not what my instructions say. Your instructions are wrong. I said, well, they're from South Yorkshire Police.
And it
was the actual copper that...
if they're wrong, this is the ones I've got. I can't make them be right.
Yeah.
What you want.
So he made us sit there for half an hour.
Yeah, pricks, yeah.
Made us sit there for half an hour and wouldn't let us go until... well, I think we got to the stadium at just before.
Did you go to Millwall that time we beat them and Sam Baldock scored a shitload of goals away?
The 4-0.
Yeah, they kept us sitting on the road there for a while, didn't they?
No, I missed that one. I do remember though Facebook afterwards being full of Millwall fans saying that they were going to be coming for us, and then that lad got on there, didn't he? He said, "Well, you can meet me outside Asda, and we'll tool up and we'll take you on." And they managed to track this lad down. He was 13.
Yeah, I remember it.
And he was absolutely shitting himself. So that was my worst away day in terms of just organised, and it wasn't a particularly good game either. If you could, question 3, if you could keep either Chucks or Agard for next season, which one would it be and why?
Agard. I think he's a better player than Chucks. Oh, controversial, Tony Hawkins.
I'd say Chucks is a better player, but Kieran's more consistent.
I'd say Kieran Agard's better suited to this level of football. Considering if we go up or down.
That's all I'm saying on that question.
Right, my caveat is, if we don't get promoted, then I'd keep Kieran, but if we get promoted, then Kieran can fuck off and
keep
Chucks can stay.
All right then. Question 4, favourite game of the championship season?
Favourite game of the championship season? Obviously the first one, where I just thought, well, this is going to be a piece of piss, this.
4-1, yeah, we all did. I would say Fulham was a good... I was kit man for that season,
yeah, that was a good day, yeah.
As kit
even
man,
though we lost.
Fulham was a fantastic day.
No, God, I've just remembered. Nottingham Forest away.
Forest was good.
One of the best football. In fact, that's probably the best football in the
I lost
we went on Dan's bus.
A very expensive pair of radios that day.
Good. That was a fantastic day. That was the first time I ever had a gin and tonic that day.
Was that your first one?
Ever.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, my first one was in Sweden about 15 years ago.
That was a great day, even though we lost. That was a
so
fantastic
I'd say Fulham, Derby when we won was decent.
Who was the team that Neil Lennon was manager of that time when Daniel Powell scored and it was 1-0?
Reading?
No, it wasn't Reading. It was here.
Was it? That was here?
He turned up here.
Oh, yeah, of course, because he came into the office.
Yeah. Did he?
Yeah.
Bastard.
Yeah. Well, he's a friend of Carl's.
Oh,
anyway.
I know he is.
And he'd been to the stadium a few times. Yeah. Which reminds me, Stephen Presley was a regular when we were being managed by Nielsen. He was coming in a lot to... If I'd have known you hated him so much, I'd have told you just to wind up.
I hate him. All of them.
Let's move on to question 5.
5.
I know none of you are massive singers yourselves, that's us.
That's us.
But what's your favourite Don's chant? Sorry.
I quite like the old Elvis thing, if I'm being honest.
Elvis.
I think when that gets going, but we've not had that for ages.
No,
I've not seen Radar for quite a while, if I'm being honest.
MK Army when it goes round.
Yeah.
I like that.
I used to like, when we used to sit in the East Stand, on the first season we were in the New Stadium, when they used to sing No One Likes Us, We Don't Care, used to quite like that.
That was actually one of the louder ones, yeah. I also like the Yellow Submarine one, Team of Lewingtons.
I don't like
that's
that.
just a good...
Some of my nerves, that.
Just a good one. And number 6, just how bad is Ryan Harley? Is he on the same level of some of the other all-time lows such as Jet and Tishy Bowler? Well, I'm going to disagree there because I don't think he's a bad player. I just think he's having a bad time at the moment, and he was absolutely awful at...
He's not been great.
No.
He's a scapegoat, that guy. He's just another one. He's just a player that most people have formed their opinion on, like, you're no good, mate.
Yeah, but they were saying
they're right though. They were
saying that before he came.
Yeah,
before he'd even see him play.
Yeah, because people from bloody Exeter were saying how shit he was,
and
how he was going to, and how Tiz was going to play him regardless of form, and they were right. He's not seen him for a couple of weeks, have we? Did he came on Saturday? Came
on Saturday. Yeah.
I can't remember him on Saturday.
So I'm not going to say he's a bad player. but
you're a bad player.
He needs to improve greatly.
Be better, mate.
Question 7. If we were to go up this season, what would be a realistic League One expectation?
I would say... I don't know the finances, but I would say to just be mid-table, I reckon, is a realistic expectation. Because I think we need to... What this club needs to do is consolidate for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Get back on a stable footing. Be more financially viable.
Would it be of any use to us going straight back up again?
No, that would be a really bad thing for us.
Yeah.
I think
that would be
destroy this club.
Massive upheaval.
Yeah, it would.
And may well need a change
nowhere near set up for that.
A change of management, money-wise, if that was going to happen. So I'd say I think we could definitely do the playoffs. I don't know about automatic because you're always going to have one of those big teams.
I would be quite happy to just be mid-table. I just would when we go up.
If this next question can be answered, which I don't think
Which number is it?
What your answer would be? Number 8.
Number 8.
Worst refereeing performance you've ever seen at a Dons game?
Ever.
Yeah.
We went away to Shrewsbury once. It was Easter Monday. Clive Platt gets sent off. It was when they were in that shit stadium before they moved. You know, the one where they had the guy in the coracle that used to paddle out the river? I'll never forget that. He was just unbelievably bad, that guy. And if I can remember that like that, it means that's how shit he was.
I would say one referee, one decision, sending Stephen Gleeson off against Peterborough in the playoffs.
That was pretty bad, Jay.
Yeah, I don't know what he was like for the rest of the game, but that was a disgraceful decision. Not only that, but the linesman was also on that side, and I think he might have even given it at the time because it wasn't a sending off. It was outside the area. I know the red card got taken back, but the damage was already done. Yeah. Number 9.
9.
If Louis refused to be substituted, would that be more acceptable or just as much of a disgrace as Kepa?
Well, I don't think Louis would do that personally.
That's
I think
the simple answer to that, really.
That is the answer. I think the difference between Kepa and someone like Lewington, and to a certain extent someone like John Terry, because his name was brought up a lot in the wake of what happened last Sunday, was most people were saying if you still had a figure like John Terry there, John Terry would have grabbed Kepa by the fucking neck and dragged him off.
He would have absolutely
and
done
I think that I've always thought that Louis and Terry are cut from the same mould. They're one club. This is their club.
I think talking of captains and players like that, when the Chelsea captain was asked about that,
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it. He pulled out the Wenger, and he said, "I didn't see it. You're the captain. You're lying." You know, just the whole thing. I mean, I don't want to talk about that specifically.
I don't think Louis would do
Louis
that.
Wouldn't do it. Louis, simple
he'd
as
be
that.
running off. Yes, Gaffer, he'd say.
It'd be. He might
Louis
ask questions, which he's entitled to do.
Well, you think how he handled what happened with Nielsen?
Yes, very, very good.
He must have known deep within himself. He must have known that he was going to come out the winner of that. He just must have done. I did hear his interview on Three Counties. Did you listen to it?
I haven't listened to the third part.
They asked him that. Well, and he said that was one of the only times he's ever asked his dad for advice on football. Yeah. What should I do, he said.
I did. Do you remember?
And his dad said, fucking knock him out.
Yeah, I did say. He didn't
say that, lawyers.
I did say that all those players that Nielsen had got rid of or sent out on loan or just wasn't playing, all came back on the Sunday. They were back in on the Sunday.
From knocking on the door.
Right. Put the kettle on. We're all back. And finally,
last question. Go.
Most entertaining Dons game of the season so far.
So far.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one, isn't it?
Do you know? Funnily enough, Bury losing at Bury, that was a fantastic game of football.
I can't think.
Absolutely fantastic game of football. Probably Cambridge. You can't argue with a 6-0.
Nah, it's got to be that from me. Definitely 6-0. Yeah.
Although
you can't argue with that.
Winning at Oldham was decent first day of the season, but 6-0 you can't really argue with a 6-0.
Yeah, what's his name? Max Rushton, the guy that used to be on that Soccer AM thing. Yeah. He does the Guardian podcast now.
Yeah, he does.
And he's a massive Cambridge fan, and he always has a little joke about them. And he said on their next podcast after that game, he goes, "It's one of the worst things when you're watching all the goals come in on a Saturday afternoon and they're all coming in against your team." So I thought that was quite funny. So yeah, I'd say that. There you go. Questions answered.
That was a complete performance.
Yeah, it was. It was good. I enjoyed every minute of it.
Everything.
Just going to check how long we've done here. How long have we done so far? Oh, it's only half an hour. It's fine.
Oh, there you go. So up next,
go on.
Crawley.
Creepy Crawley.
Crawley at home. So the fixtures are falling 2 home, 2 away, 2 home.
Where are they?
Like Crawley just sat mid-table. They're
Mid-table.
not really doing anything, are they, of any consequence?
I reckon
but
we'll win that.
I had us down when I said I want to see 10 points from the next 4 games.
Yeah.
My 1 point game was actually Newport. I'd have taken a point.
Oh, well.
But I think we should be winning the
I
next
reckon
3.
we'll win that.
So we're already 2 points ahead. So that's good. But we do need to. We need to keep winning. We need to keep racking up the points to because we've got to get back in that top 3 if we want to go up automatically. I mean, if you're going to finish 4th, you might as well finish 7th.
I don't know what to say about playoffs. I'd rather not think about it at the minute.
No, let's not.
I
Let's
wouldn't
not
be
think about it.
confident.
Let's just hope that. Well, I mean, I can. I'm a bit surprised he said Berry would fuck it up.
They'll
but
fall away.
someone's going to. One of those 3 is going. I don't think it's going to be Lincoln. I think it's
What's
going to be
that
Mansfield,
place that's quite near Liverpool? Tranmere.
Tranmere, yeah.
Do you remember not long? Well, it seems not long. Probably bloody ages ago when they were top of League One.
Well, you look at that.
Yeah.
We went there on a Friday that season and won 1-0 live on Sky.
Yeah, I can always remember saying
Leighton Orient.
In fact, it might well have been when we had a podcast, the radio show before. I remember talking about them, and I said they won't be at the end of the season. They'll definitely fall away, and they did.
Yep, and
Leighton
Orient did the same thing. Then they got relegated from League One the following season.
Just some
then
teams
relegated from League Two
that are just not set up to do it.
I mean,
Bury are a classic yo-yo team, and they're up and down every other year, aren't they? Them?
Yeah. Well, Bury are Bury, Oldham, Northampton.
Yeah, all of that. Yeah, up and down.
Stevenage as well.
Yeah,
to a lesser
Stevenage are
extent.
another team. Wickham. There's another team that are in League One, League Two every
There's
other
plenty
year.
of them that are capable
I
of
just don't want to
getting
be one of
themselves
those
promoted
teams.
and then relegated 10 minutes later.
So
I
think
don't want to
they're-
be, and I don't see
No,
us
I
as
don't.
one of those.
No, I don't.
And that's, I mean, if it means, if we're going to keep going up and down from the Championship to League One, even
take
that is, you know...
That I would take, yeah, I'd love that.
Would you rather just sit in the middle of the Championship for 15 years and not get the threat of relegation or
would you
promotion?
like to be like Ipswich, who've kind of done that and now they're in the shit, aren't they?
But it makes you wonder what happens at these clubs. I mean, we've seen it, haven't we? Southampton, Sheffield United, we've seen Bournemouth, we've seen Huddersfield,
Leeds,
we've
look
seen
at
Leeds. Yeah.
Guys, remember that time we beat
Leicester?
Leeds? Leicester.
Saw a good tweet today. Someone said, still can't believe that a goal scored against us in a 2-2 about 10 years ago still bothers me so much. That free kick goal.
Remember that? 9 minutes, was it? Oh,
Yeah.
God.
But again, when you're up there, those are the sort of goals that you score.
I'd love it.
The
Kill for that
96
days like that.
minute.
No, I got to be honest.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what was that crowd? Over
Oh, it was great,
15,000, I
wasn't it?
think it was, or
Brilliant.
something like that.
Now look at them. Just sacked their manager.
Yeah, after winning the Premier League, 3 years ago? 4 years ago, wherever it was?
They got some arsehole in. Can't think of his name now off the top of my head.
No, I thought that might come up at some stage. So, Crawley Town, let's have your predictions.
Who's manager there? Not that Australian bloke. Is he gone? I don't keep up with low
Oh, I don't know.
I don't keep up with low league football.
Are
Are
you thinking of Fleetwood?
They had bloody some Australian guy, didn't they? Some famous Australian footballer. I know there's only 2.
I know. Are you not thinking of the
think.
Fleetwood manager? What's it? Oh, God knows now.
I can't
Hold on.
remember.
All right, let's have a look. Crawley Town.
People will be shouting at their
Yeah, that's why we do it. We know the
answer.
answer. We know the answer. We just want you to shout at the radio. So, Keith Curl, is it? No. Oh, Gabriel,
I don't know him. He's not who I was thinking of.
currently head coach. Gabriel
Jesus.
Choffy.
Gabriel Jesus. That's what he does when he's not playing.
The one you're thinking of, I'll tell you who it is.
Bloody hell. I'll know as soon as you see him. Good looking fella for an Australian. You know who I mean.
I know exactly who you mean. Oh, Joey Barton's the manager of
Fleetwood, yeah, he's an arsehole.
But I know the Australian. He used to play for Liverpool.
Yeah, that's the fella.
Yeah.
Anyone. Harry Kewell.
Harry Kewell, that's it.
That's
Yeah.
him. Is he
Well,
still
whoever it is,
manager?
I don't know what he's doing now.
He's manager at Crawley.
Yeah, we're going to say that because we can't pronounce the other fella's name.
Yeah, Harry Kewell.
All right, let's have a look. See what Harry Kewell is doing.
Find out what he's doing now.
Harry Kewell is an Australian football coach,
Oh, yes.
and who most recently manager of. Oh, of course, he was at Notts County, wasn't he?
Oh, Jesus.
And
They've just been wound up
in the
today,
season,
haven't
yeah, they're going to be.
they?
That's
That might
looking
affect
serious.
us.
That is.
Yeah, that might affect us.
Yeah, that's
Because if they
looking
get
very
liquidated
serious.
and kicked out of the league, all their points get struck off, don't they?
How
And
does that work if you haven't played them?
They've beaten Mansfield, though, haven't they?
They'll get their points back.
Yeah, they get their points back.
See, that's well. I don't
That's
even want
that
to think
bloody
about
guy
that.
from
Do
Wimbledon.
you know that
isn't it? It's manager for them.
could happen? That could happen.
You never know. Might not. I hope
Let's
not.
not think about it.
I don't care about them.
It's best not to think about it.
No.
Um,
Let's not wind ourselves up about it.
Let's have some predictions in for Crawley Town. I'm going 2-0's just jumped into my head there straight away.
I'm going 3-0 me. I'm 3-0 with tradition.
3-0, comfortable win?
Yeah, easy.
Goals in the first half or second half? Or
I'm going 1 first half. Well, obviously 2 second
2 the second half. Yeah, it took a while to think about it.
And then another 1 the third half.
Good stuff. Right, so that's pretty much us done, isn't it?
That's it. I'd like to mention, and I don't really want to do this, but I can't let it go, about the stewards at Gate 5.
Oh, you did mention this last week. I didn't go into any great detail. Do tell.
Yeah. I'm not sure if anyone from the club listens to this, but if you do listen to this, you need to rein your stewards in at Gate 5, because I think the stewarding at Gate 5 over the last 2 or 3 home games has been very heavy-handed. I don't think they need to stop every single person and search them. There's a massive queue outside Gate 5 now when you come up.
Yeah.
And you know why that is? It's because they're stopping everyone and searching them. Men, women, everything. It's
absolutely
ridiculous.
Everyone.
Sorry, I'm just saying I think it's a bit heavy-handed. Now, I'll be up front with you. I am a 56-year-old man. I'm beginning to look a lot older than my years, if I'm being honest. I really am. It was the first time that I was stopped for a long time at football. I don't mind being searched, but I had a hat on Saturday. I don't know why people have got to take their hats off on Saturday.
What, to be searched?
Yeah, always.
That sounds a little bit over the top.
And I just think to myself, so if anyone from the club is listening, perchance, maybe you could just hang about outside Gate 5 just before this week's,
So obviously the traffic is busier there because Gate 6 is shut as well.
I'm supposed to go to Gate 7 on my ticket, but I ain't walking all the way around to Gate 7.
Oh, you used to go in 6?
We used to go in 6.
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking I just go in 5 because we park at Kiln Farm and come under the underpass. It's easier than walking all the way around to the front. I ain't doing that.
Yeah, that is a bit of a trek.
So maybe he's saying, hang on a minute, that guy's at the wrong gate, let's search him. I just think, I've got nothing to hide. I don't, like I've said before on this podcast, I don't interact with the police if I can avoid it. I don't like them. I don't like officialdom, but I just think these guys are being a little bit heavy-handed and slightly. It's not Millwall. We're not like it's not an Old Firm game. We're not like
all home fans as well.
You just think that the majority of people that go in Gate 5 are about my age, aren't they? Well, maybe not, but you just think. I think they're being a bit heavy-handed.
I could probably tell you the demographic in there, but in general, it would be because Gate 5. You've also got
you got the family.
You've got Cowshed. You've got Family Corner. You've got the Standard Corner.
Yeah, all of that.
East Wing. Is Gate 4 still open? Must be.
I
don't know if it's open. So I know. I think Gate 4 shut. Then is it Gate 4 and Gate 6? So you've got.
So everyone's coming
East
in
Premium,
Gate 5.
East Wing, MK1. Yeah, pretty much. What?
So I'm thinking to myself,
half the same,
if I've got some kind of vehicle for complaining to the club, i.e. this podcast, I'm going to do it. So rein your fucking blokes in on Gate 5. That's what I'm trying to say.
There you go. You've been told. Please take note.
That's it.
And I'm sure we'll hear more about that. If you've got any thoughts on that, if you're one of those hat wearers that has had to have
I don't mind taking my hat off. I'm just thinking, and I know I've had this discussion with Digger once about being searched, because I remember being searched once going into the hockey stadium and it really pissed me off for some reason. It was a Friday night game and they stopped and searched me, and I can remember online, and Digger did say something like along the lines of, when you enter the ground or buy a ticket, you're entering into a contract, and on that ticket it says you submit to being searched if requested. So I understand you've got to be searched, but I just don't want it to be me. So I tell you, you better not search me Saturday.
Everybody else, but just not John.
Let me walk straight in.
So I'll make sure your photo's distributed at all gates on
don't
Saturday.
Search him.
If you've got any thoughts on that or
so
anything else about the stadium,
let us know about that.
MK Don's
Maybe
radio
it's just
show.
me being a bit grumpy, because I am very grumpy at the minute.
You are known for that.
I am grumpy.
MK Don's radio show at gmail.com. Send us your thoughts on that. Anything else you want to talk about? We've given up on your jingles, if we're honest. So, anything else you want to say?
Really.
Any questions? Any comments? Match reports? Even if we were at the game, home games, you can send us your drunken match reports. We didn't get any, did we? So.
No,
in fact, all we got was those questions from young Owen.
I had some other feedback, but I had young Albie come up to me at half time and
I think Albie's a little bit confused. He
asked me to stop taking the piss. To stop taking the piss out of him on this.
He did. He said the same thing to me. It's not. We're not taking the piss. We just don't like you.
It's that.
And when we say about like sending us threatening letters in the post, like this is real. This is very real.
Someone punched him in the face at Carlisle.
Did he? He never said it. He said it was a great day out. He told me.
Well,
clearly he enjoys being punched in the face.
Well,
people.
What happened was he was coming out and he told us the story. He was chatting to someone. He wasn't looking where he was going, and he clipped a bloke's heels in front of him.
Yeah.
And the bloke turned round and he goes, "Oh, sorry, mate." The guy punched him in the jaw. And then, like, he's going, "Oh, bloody hell!" He's thinking to himself, "All right, I'm in Carlisle. I don't want to get arrested
again."
This is exactly his words for words. So he just let it go. And as he's going back to wherever it was, coach or train or whatever, this copper approached him. He was one of their blokes, like a Carlisle policeman, and said, "What was all that about?" And he recounted the story as after he's recounted to you. And the copper turned round and said, "Yeah, we'll like that up here." And that was it.
Well, you can't argue with that,
I mean, I'd punch him in the face if I seen him. There's no two doubts about it.
Well,
I might
just
punch
saying,
him in the face this week.
He didn't mention. He just said, "Can you please stop picking on me?" And I said,
get punched in the face.
Stop sending me stuff in the post.
Stop.
I got a I don't know if he actually travelled outside the area to do this, but it was postmarked Northampton.
Northampton. I was going to say Northampton.
And it was 2 nuts and 2 bolts.
Oh, don't like that.
And a post-it which just said, "You now know."
Oh, that make any sense to me? That
no, I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means.
If that wasn't Albie, I apologise, but I'm pretty sure it was. Sorry. It was his in handwriting, and it was signed.
Your friend Albie.
It was signed. Dave, but just above Dave it had Albie crossed out.
Yeah, that's what he
and
does.
underneath put Dave. So so Albie, we're not picking on you.
Not
we're just
picking
saying,
on you.
please
We just
stop.
don't like you.
Yeah, just
there you go.
Stay away.
Can't like everyone, Tony.
No, and everyone doesn't like us. Apparently,
I don't like Neil Lennon.
You don't like.
I
Neil
don't like.
You don't like Neil.
No, I like him even less tonight.
So if you saw Albie get punched at Carlisle
by Neil Lennon,
send us an email, mkdonsradioshow@gmail.com, or if you just want to make up a story, please send us an email, mkdonsradioshow@gmail.com. Are we done?
We're done. No quiz this week.
No quiz. We will have one next week, hopefully.
Hopefully, Housewives Favourite will be back.
And we can. What's the score? Is it 3-1 to me or something?
Something like that.
I love the quiz. I really love.
I do like the quiz. I've been studying.
It's the highlight of the show.
I've been going through.
I did actually think
I've
about.
been going through players' Wikipedia. I'm genuinely not joking when I say that.
I was thinking if you could memorise.
I'm trying to memorise their birthdays.
Yeah, if you could memorise birthdays, you'd be laughing.
You would be.
That's why
I'm genuinely have done that. I'm not joking when I say
21st of September one is Carl and Richie born on the same day.
23rd
Carl and Keith Andrews.
of February. If that ever comes up, I'm straight in.
23rd of February.
No, I've given it away now. You'll know.
I'm going to go and look now.
Nah, you will know.
Right, that's us.
That's us. So sorry we're a day late and a dollar short, but it is what it is. You're getting it for nothing anyway, so be grateful.
I'm now just about to lose my voice, so I hope you're happy.
Yeah, send money. Forgot to say that.
Send money and strepsils.
Strepsils and money.
Yeah.
Right, see you next week.